Hi guys, welcome to the last video of the series. Now in this video we are going to write the main logic that actually counts the scores of the user. Okay, so before actually going to the development part, let's first visualize the logic. So we have this black box which is the image coming through your camera. Then we have this yellow box which is nothing but the face detected by the YOLO model. And then we have y-axis which starts from 0 and it could go up to 1024 720 or 416 as per your image resolution. Okay, now in the last video we have worked on the countdown part where user raises his hand above his head and then the countdown starts right from 10 to 1. So right after the countdown ends we are going to take this point which is called as min y, and in this example it is at the 80th pixel. So we are going to store this 80th pixel value into a list called as min-y list. Okay. Then as the user proceeds to do the squats, as the user bends down, the min-y value will keep on increasing until at a certain point where user decides to stop bending down and decides to stand up. So this will be the last point. So we will take this 520th pixel value and store it in a variable called as and min y. Okay, then user will stand up, and this time the min y value could be 90 instead of 80. So what we will do is we will take this 80th value and add 50 pixel and subtract 50 pixel from it. Okay, so the number will become 30 and 130. So we have created this range and we will take the current min y which is 90 and check whether the current min y falls under this 30 and 130 range or not. Okay, if the current min y falls under this range, we are going to increase the count of the total squats to 1. Okay, and when user will try to do the second squat, the min y value could be at the 70th pixel. Okay, now again this time we will check whether the current min y value which is 70 falls under this range or not. Okay, falls under between 30 and 130 or not. If it does, we are going to increase the squat count by 1. Okay, so this is the logic that we will implement, and along with this we will give user a limited time of 60 seconds to perform 5 squats. Okay, so user has to complete 5 squats in 60 seconds. Okay, with each second pass by we will decrease the remaining time. Okay, like this until it reaches 0. If it reaches 0 and still the user has not completed the 5 set of squats, then we will tell user to try again. Okay, but if the user completes 5 squats within 60 seconds, then we will congratulate the user. Okay, so these are the things that we will work on. Let's get to the development part. So we have this capture and show method, and in this we have this condition if self dot countdown. We are checking if the countdown is true or not. Okay, and inside that we have if self dot countdown time is less than 1. This means that we are checking if the countdown time has reached below 1 or not. Okay, if it has reached below, that means the countdown time from 10 to 1 is completed. Okay, and now it is time to start the squat counting process. So we will write self dot squat counting process equals to true. Okay, then if we go up we have this line. This is where we are getting the image from the camera, and once we receive the image we will check if self dot squat counting process, if it is true then image equals to we will create a method called as self dot check scot, and we will pass the image coming through our camera. Okay, and we have to write one more condition: if not self dot count down and not self dot scot counting process, then check if the user has raised his hand above his head or not. Okay, this line. Now we have to define this here. Initially it will be false, and once the countdown ends we will set it to true. Okay, now we will also define the set of scot user needs to do. So we will write self dot total scots to be done, we will give 5, and we will also have to keep a track of user scot. So self dot total scots completed equals to 0. Okay, so through this we will be tracking the count of the scots, and we will create the check scots method. Okay, now here we will check if self dot total scots completed is less than self dot total scots to be done, then we will create another method called as count scot image, and then we will return this image. Okay, now let's create self dot count scot. And here we will have to get the face coordinates. Okay, coordinates self dot get faces, and we will pass the image here. Okay, and if we get the face coordinates, then we have to update the min y. If you remember, update min y value. Okay, sorry, we have to pass the face coordinates. Okay, this is nothing but we are getting the min y value, right? Here we have to update this here. So let's create this method. Self dot min y list dot append face coordinates of 1. Okay, and then self dot min y equals to face coordinates of 1. We have to define these two. So let's define this. Then after updating the min y value, we have to draw the scot count. Okay, so we have to display the count of the scots completed by the user. So we will create another method for that. Draw spot count image. And using OpenCV, cv2 dot put text image, and text will be total count plus str of self dot total spots completed. Okay, so we'll give 30 for x and 50 for y. cv2 dot font hashi simplex, which we are already using. Then you have to give the size and color. So blue will be 0, green will be 0, and red will be 255. Okay, and then we will have to give the thickness. We'll give it as 2. Then after mentioning the total spot count, we actually have to update the spot count, the logic which we have seen here, this one, the ranges one. Okay, so we will implement this logic in the code now. Self dot update spot count, and then at the end we have to return this, return image. We have to get the image here also. So let's create this method. So this code is nothing but the logic that we have seen here. Okay, this is just the code representation of the logic we saw in the presentation. Okay, we have to define this start min y and the end min y and the self dot process end. Okay, so 0 and min y 0, self dot process time equals to false. So in this code we are just getting the start min y from the min y list. Okay, then we are adding 50 and subtracting 50, right? So we are doing that, and then we are checking if the current min y is in the range between this value and this value. Okay, and if it falls between these value, we are increasing the squad count here, right? So same way we are increasing the squad count here, nothing else we are doing. So I think it is time to test the squad count. So let's run this, and if this works properly, then we will implement the logic of the timer also. Okay, yeah. So I think the logic is working absolutely fine. let's stop this, and now it's time to implement the timer logic. Okay, we will give user a 60-second time, okay, to complete the 5 squat. Okay, so to do that, we have to, after we are just setting the squat counting process true, we have to keep a timer self dot size start time equals to true. Okay, sorry, not true, time dot time. Okay, we have to define this. It's not. Okay, then we have to also define self dot total time equals to 60 seconds, and self dot time remaining equals to, initially it will be self dot total time only, then once the process starts we will keep decreasing the time remaining. Then we'll have to make use of this total time and time remaining in here. Okay, so we have written, we are checking if the total squats completed is less than squats to be done, and also we'll have to check if self dot time remaining is greater than 0. Okay, in here then we will check if self dot time remaining is less than 0, then we have to image equals to self dot handle try again. Okay, then we have to, and if self dot total squats completed equals to total squats, if the user has completed 5 squats and also the time is also remaining. Okay, self dot time remaining is greater than 0, then image equals to self dot handle squats completed, and then we'll pass the image. Okay, so we have to create these two methods now. Self comma image. We are going to make use of OpenCV cv2 dot put text, and we will pass the image here and write try again. Okay, and then we are going to make use of self dot midx to display it in the middle of the image, comma self dot midy. Okay, then self dot font, sorry, cv2 dot font hash is simplex 2, and color will be red only, 0 to 55, and thickness will be 2. Okay, so we'll copy this and do the same for handle squats completed. Congratulations, then we have to return the image. Okay, also we have to update the time, right? So for that we will have to create another method to keep a track of the time. So update time equals current time equals to time elapse time equals to current time minus self dot exercise start time, and then here we will update the self dot time remaining equals to in max of self dot total time minus elapsed time, and then 0. Elapsed time 0. Okay, and then we will call this method here self dot update total time. Now after the 60 seconds is completed and the user has completed the spots, we have to reset everything to the initial stage. Okay, so we have to create one method called as reset counters. Okay, so we are resetting the self dot countdown, we are resetting the total spots completed, countdown time, let's do this as 10, Scott counting process false meanwhile is 10, and then time remaining. Okay, and so let's run this and check. Now after resetting it, we are not displaying the total time remaining, right? So we have to do that. We will do this here. Time left, and then self dot time remaining, x will be 30 only, and y let's increase it to 80, and this is done. Let's run this now. So it is working, but this congratulations is stuck on the screen. So let's stop this and check what we have done wrong, and also let's 120. Okay, we are not calling this reset counters anywhere, so let's do that. Then let's also decrease the font size 1.5 and sorry, not here, here. 0.5, 1.5. Okay. Now just to test it, we will decrease the timer. Just for the testing, we will keep it for 5 seconds and see what happens if we don't complete the squats in 5 seconds. Okay. Okay, so it is not displaying the message. Try again. Okay, it is less than 0. It should be double equal to 0. Then only it will go inside this condition. And let's run it now. Okay, the try again came for 1 second and left, right? So we will hold this try again for at least 5 seconds. So to do that, we will write cv2 dot IamShow and we'll pass the image as window name and then image and cv2 dot wait key. Let's do it for 3 seconds only. So we'll keep the 3000 here. Okay, let's do the same for the congratulations message. Okay. Also, the screen where the output was displaying is a bit small, right? So let's enlarge that as well. So for that, we'll have to define self dot display image height equals to, let's keep it as 750 pixels and display image width as 1000 pixels. Okay, and we are going to make use of this in here. cv2 dot resize source will be image and cv self dot display image width and self dot display image height, and we will copy this and put it here as well and in here as well. Okay, now let's run this and check. It should show try again. Yeah. Okay, now the try again is for at least 3 seconds, right? Now let's do the final run to test the whole application. Okay, so we'll increase the total time to 60 seconds again. Okay, but we did not see the resize window. Okay, so image equals to, we had forgotten to do this. So let's now run this and do the final testing. So I think it is working fine. Let's quit this and let's check the code. Yeah. Also, we are not telling the user to raise his hand above his head, right? That way, user will not know. So we have to copy this, put text, and instead of countdown, we will write raise hand above head, and remove this. And let's for x value let's give 30 and y value give 50. Okay. Let's run this and check the font scale. Let's do it 1 and thickness 2. Yeah, we are getting raised hand above it. Okay, yeah. So this was it from my end, and today we have completed the series. We have done a major project in OpenCV using deep learning, YOLO, and Python. Okay, hope you have learned something. Let's meet in the next series.